Okay, let's go.
The drama surrounding women's MMA has never been more intense than it is right now. Headlines are ablaze, social media is buzzing, and the eyes of the entire fight world are fixed on one name, Dakota Ditcheva. At just 26 years old, the undefeated British phenom has ignited conversations that not only question the current hierarchy of female fighters, but challenge the very legacy of one of the sport's greatest icons, Ronda Rousey. It began with a bold statement from UFC analyst and former fighter Dan Hardy, whose words set off a firestorm that would leave fans, fighters, and even UFC President Dana White momentarily speechless. Hardy, speaking on the Bloody Elbow podcast, didn't just praise Ditcheva. He dared to argue that she had surpassed Rousey, a fighter who redefined women's MMA and whose reign of dominance once seemed untouchable. Hardy's commentary wasn't subtle. He acknowledged Rousey's monumental contributions to the sport, her Olympic-level judo, and the armbar that became the stuff of legend. He reminded listeners that Rousey was, in her prime, a force of nature, a trailblazer who carried the weight of an entire division on her shoulders. But Hardy also pointed out her limitations. While Rousey excelled in a single domain, the clinch and grappling range, her game plan often relied on overwhelming opponents with judo throws and submissions. Outside that realm, Hardy argued there was vulnerability, a gap that modern, well-rounded fighters like Ditcheva could exploit. Dakota Ditcheva, Hardy insisted, isn't just a contender. She represents the next evolution of women's MMA, a generation of athletes whose skill sets combine the precision of Muay Thai, devastating knockout power, and elite-level takedown defense. Hardy's claim that she could beat anybody in her weight class on the planet went viral almost instantly. But it wasn't just bravado. Ditcheva's record speaks for itself. Entering 2025, she stands undefeated with a perfect 15-0 professional record. Even more staggering is her finish rate, 12 knockouts and 1 submission. This isn't merely winning. This is domination. A relentless march through the competition that leaves little doubt about her potential. In 2024, Ditcheva captured the PFL Women's Flyweight World title, earning a cool $1 million in prize money, a testament not just to her skill, but to her marketability and presence in the sport. Her championship victory was emphatic. She dismantled former UFC title challenger Taila Santos in just 2 rounds, delivering a performance that showcased everything Hardy had been touting. Santos, a fighter known for pushing champions like Valentina Shevchenko to their limits, fell under Ditcheva's calculated storm of strikes and clinch control. The world took notice, and the comparison to Rousey became unavoidable. Born on July 25, 1998, in Manchester, England, Ditcheva's rise was swift and deliberate. By 17, she was already a Muay Thai world champion, capturing gold at the 2016 FMA World Championships. Transitioning to MMA, she brought with her a polished striking game, elite clinch work, and a mindset that blends confidence with an almost ferocious focus. She has stated publicly that she sees herself as immediately competitive at the top of the UFC rankings, envisioning a jump straight into the top 15 or even top 10. That fearlessness mirrors Rousey's confidence in her own prime. Yet Ditcheva's skills encompass a broader arsenal, blending striking, takedown defense, and submission awareness into a package that modern analysts argue makes her virtually unstoppable. Rousey's own story, however, adds layers of drama to this comparison. Her career, meteoric in its early years, ended on a note of heartbreak that is still discussed to this day. UFC 207 saw her face Amanda Nunes in what would become a defining and devastating moment. In just 48 seconds, Rousey was knocked out cold, a fighter overwhelmed and unable to defend herself against the raw power and precision of Nunes. It was a stark reminder that even the greatest fighters are human, and that dominance in one era does not guarantee invulnerability in the next. In the aftermath of that fight, Rousey openly discussed the emotional toll. "I remember my last fight walking away thinking God hates me. I had nothing left in me. she said. Her words conveyed not just defeat, but exhaustion, both physical and mental. She described the sensation of her brain failing to recover from repeated trauma, acknowledging that the decline she faced was inevitable. A combination of physical punishment and the psychological weight of competition at the highest level. It was a candid glimpse into the reality behind the glamour of championship belts and media attention. A reminder that even trailblazers like Rousey are not immune to the harsh truths of combat sports. Against this backdrop, Hardy's comparison of Ditcheva to Rousey hit with undeniable impact. Here was a young fighter, still early in her career, already demonstrating skills that rivaled or even exceeded a former champion in multiple domains. Hardy argued that Ditcheva could not only hang with elite jiu-jitsu specialists on the ground, but could also dominate with Muay Thai striking from range, something Rousey's legacy, brilliant as it was, had not fully encompassed. The narrative of a fighter surpassing a legend is always provocative, but in this case, the combination of Ditcheva's flawless record, her high finish rate, and the quality of opponents she has already defeated made Hardy's statement feel more like prediction than hyperbole. The MMA world responded instantly. Social media exploded with debates, analysts offered their breakdowns, and fans began to draw comparisons between two distinctly different champions. Rousey, the pioneer who helped build women's MMA into a globally recognized sport, and Ditcheva, the new force poised to redefine what dominance looks like in a modern era. For many, the question became not just about skill, but about legacy. Can an undefeated rising star rewrite history while the shadow of a legend still looms large? And when Dana White himself weighed in at a recent press conference, the tension only escalated. The UFC president's reaction, one of surprise and intrigue, signaled that this wasn't just talk. It was a genuine narrative shift within the sport. Ditcheva's skill set is both comprehensive and frightening in its efficiency. Her takedown defense allows her to remain standing against grapplers who once would have dominated in clinch exchanges. Her Muay Thai arsenal, honed over years of competition, includes bone-crushing knees, sharp elbows, and precise kicks, capable of ending fights in seconds. But it is not raw aggression alone that makes her dangerous. It is the intelligence behind her striking, the ability to read opponents, anticipate counters, and exploit openings that others cannot see. Each fight is a statement, a demonstration of mastery over multiple facets of MMA that were once compartmentalized across specialists. Her rise mirrors a broader evolution in women's MMA. Fighters are no longer limited to a single dominant skill set. Modern champions are expected to be multidimensional, proficient in striking, grappling, clinch work, and submissions, with conditioning and fight IQ matching their physical talents. Ditcheva embodies this evolution, and the comparisons to Rousey serve not to diminish the legacy of a legend, but to contextualize how far the sport has come. Rousey opened doors, Ditcheva is sprinting through them. Yet, despite all the accolades and undefeated status, the narrative is not one-sided. Rousey's impact on the sport is immeasurable. She brought global attention to women's MMA, legitimized the divisions, and inspired countless fighters to pursue the sport at its highest levels. Her Olympic-level judo, her fearless approach to competition, and her iconic armbar created moments that will be remembered for generations. Any conversation about Ditcheva surpassing Rousey is, by necessity, also a conversation about Rousey's pioneering contributions. Legacy in MMA is never just about wins and losses. It's about impact, inspiration, and the pathways forged for future generations. Dana White's reaction to Hardy's comments captured this tension perfectly. Here was the man who oversees the biggest MMA promotion in the world, acknowledging both the threat and promise represented by Ditcheva, while also recognizing the indelible mark left by Rousey. The conversation transcends the sport itself. It becomes about evolution, the passing of the torch, and the unpredictability that keeps combat sports compelling. Fans are left to speculate. Will Ditcheva dominate the UFC as she did in the PFL? Can she truly redefine what excellence looks like in women's MMA? Or will Rousey's legacy remain untouchable in the hearts and minds of those who witnessed her prime? As the discussion continues, one thing is clear. Dakota Ditcheva is a phenomenon. Her undefeated streak, her devastating finish rate, and her mastery of multiple combat ranges place her firmly in the conversation about the greatest female fighters of her era. Her confidence, reminiscent of a young Rousey, is backed by undeniable performance metrics. But unlike Rousey, whose career ended on a note of painful defeat, Ditcheva is only beginning her journey. Her path forward is uncharted territory, one that carries the weight of expectation, the promise of dominance, and the inevitable comparisons to one of the sport's all-time greats. For Dana White, Hardy, and fans alike, the question is no longer hypothetical. The conversation about who is the best in the world, who defines the sport, and who has the potential to leave an indelible mark is happening now. And at the center of it all is a fighter who combines youth, skill, confidence, and finishing ability in a way that demands attention. In a sport built on evolution and adaptation, Dakota Ditcheva represents the future, a future that may very well rewrite the history books that Rousey helped author. The drama surrounding this story is more than just records and titles. It is about generations of fighters, the evolution of skill sets, and the shifting paradigms that define excellence in women's MMA. Every punch, every submission attempt, every perfectly executed strike in Ditcheva's career is a statement about the sport's ongoing growth. Her rise is a reminder that while legends like Rousey paved the way, greatness is not static. It is earned, defended, and constantly challenged by those who refuse to accept the limits of the past. The narrative is still being written. Fans will debate, analysts will compare, and fighters will step into the cage to prove their worth. But one thing is certain. Dakota Ditcheva is not just a rising star. She is a force of nature. She has the skill, the record, and the confidence to dominate her peers. She carries the torch of evolution in women's MMA, and the echoes of her impact will resonate long after the octagon lights dim. The comparisons to Rousey are inevitable, but they also serve as a reminder of what the sport has achieved and where it is headed. The past and present collide in this story, creating a drama that is as compelling outside the cage as it is within it. As we watch this new chapter unfold, one question lingers. Will Dakota Ditcheva surpass Ronda Rousey in every meaningful way, or will the shadow of a legend remain untouchable? Only time will tell. But for fans, analysts, and the fighters themselves, the story is already riveting. It is a testament to skill, determination, and the ever-evolving nature of combat sports. And as the MMA world holds its breath, one thing is undeniable. We are witnessing the rise of a true phenom, a fighter whose journey is bound to shape the future of women's MMA forever. What do you think? Can Dakota Ditcheva truly surpass Ronda Rousey and redefine women's MMA, or is Rousey's legacy untouchable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns of the most dramatic moments in combat sports. Stay tuned, because the fight for legacy is far from